and welcome. This is NIMASA This Week. I hope you had a very good holiday and I hope you observed all the safety protocols you need to observe to keep safe from COVID-19. Well, the world is moving and the maritime sector is also moving. The DG NIMASA is also on the move because recently he paid a working visit to the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service. What did they talk about? You will find out. And let's talk about court cases. One is in progress right now, epoch-making one, because it is coming under the anti-piracy law. Remember, some pirates were arrested recently by the Nigerian Navy? Well, their trial has commenced. We'll share that with you on the program today. My name is Cordelia Odme. I ask you to please stay with us and enjoy NIMASA This Week.
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
Let's start off with the visits to the Comptroller General of the Nigerian Customs Service. The DG NIMASA paid that working visit to talk about a lot of things. A lot of things, yes, were discussed. One of those very crucial things talked about would be the temporary import permit that's granted to foreign vessels who are coming into the Nigerian waters. What is truly the issue here? Let's find out.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, and the Nigerian Customs Service, NCS, have agreed to join forces to close loopholes in the Temporary Importation Permit (TIP) system that importers often exploit to avoid levies due to the government. This was the major outcome of a working visit by the Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo, to the Comptroller General of Customs, Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, in Abuja. Since NIMASA and the Customs Service are considered critical to the growth of the maritime sector in Nigeria, collaboration on all fronts is essential. So when both chief executives had their discussion session, Dr. Jama told the customs boss that the temporary import permit issue was one of the biggest challenges faced by the maritime sector, stressing that it has denied the federal government huge revenue.
The biggest things we have issue with has to do with temporary importation. Many at times we observe that they will bring in the ships, and then after 1 year they will take it back to their own country, re-export as provided by the Act. They bring it back again and re-import it back again with a different name. They do it constantly, and this is to the disadvantage of our own Nigerian ship owners. On the part of the agency, we are losing much because they are not benefiting from the cabotage. They are doing international trade. The cabotage trade is separate. So at the end of the day, you know, the indigenous ship owners, they are having a very big problem with that.
Dr. Jama also noted the need for improved cooperation among all agencies of government in the maritime sector to ensure seamless implementation of government policies.
It's our hope that with time we will include industry stakeholders also in this type of meeting so that we can have seamless operations. The agitation, sometimes you find them somebody who knows close to nothing or doesn't know anything about it and commenting wrongly, giving public wrong information. So with this kind of dialogue, we believe that we will be able to have a perfect and seamless operations.
Responding, the Comptroller General of Customs pledged the commitment of the service to pooling resources with NIMASA to address the TIP issue and other problems in the sector. He said there was need for both agencies to design a common framework for tackling the issues.
My simple take in this is that we need to develop a platform in terms of technology, whereby we synergize. I would request our own IT staff to synergize with our IT staff and see if they can develop a platform that will create that synergy. And we should be able to view and also everything, anything that we record and register, that should also reflect in your own record. So that you can, at any given time, be able to just check and know that sheet A, B, C, and D that have been given GIP. As the period elapsed, if there's it has elapsed, have they requested for extension? If it's not given, then you're in a position to also check and let us know, so that we can together be able to police the waters and make sure that this recycling does not occur.
The Controller General said the Customs was in the process of launching 2 patrol boats that would go beyond the creeks to enhance maritime security. Ali commended the NIMASA Director General for his commitment to collaboration in policy implementation.
Let's do a quick update now on the NSDP, which is the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program. This has to do a lot with on-board sea time training. NIMASA's management has been able to get this to happen, to get students who have graduated to go on board vessels going out into the sea to do some training. And so right now, the NIMASA management is spending more money to take care of these students.
The Director General of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has stated that the agency has begun to secure more sea time berths for cadets trained under the Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, NSDP, which will lead to the beneficiaries obtaining their certificates of competencies, COC. Dr. Jamo, who was speaking about the progress made by the program, stated that despite the outbreak of COVID-19, the agency has made a lot of progress in securing sea time opportunities for a large percentage of the trained cadets across the globe, which hitherto was the challenge of the program. He, however, disclosed that a large chunk of the 3 months training opportunities lies overseas, and there have been little hiccups occasioned by the outbreak of the pandemic. In his words, "It would interest you to know that in the first quarter of 2020 alone, we secured sea time berths for over 550 cadets in various countries for the 3-month program, leading to them obtaining their COCs. However, due to the pandemic, we've had to extend for another 3 months, which comes with additional costs, and we're still looking to extend beyond that as we continue to monitor the pandemic and how it affects the program." In order for the beneficiaries not to be stranded, the agency is in constant touch with Nigerian embassies in concerned countries, and the feedback from the student leaders in the respective countries have been very encouraging because every nation is in a unique situation at this period. Another set of NSDP cadets have been approved for training, but their enrollment is on hold due to the COVID-19 situation across the globe. The barrier of sea time training had been broken, and the program is now churning out graduates that would earn in foreign exchange, which would work in favor of the Nigerian economy. The Nigerian Seafarers Development Program, NSDP, was designed by NIMASA to arrest the dearth of trained and certified seafarers in Nigeria. So far, the program has graduated over 2,000 cadets, some of which have undergone sea time and are currently in the employ of many international shipping lines. Securing sea time berth would be another milestone in the achievement of the goals of the program.
Do you know who a seafarer is? Seafarers are the people who make the world go round. Seafarers are people who have been employed to work on ships. They ensure smooth sailing of the ship while making sure that goods and services get to us from every part of the world. And despite the COVID-19 pandemic, this set of people are still working for the benefit of everyone. Wow! Let us celebrate these special people as they are the people who truly make the world go round. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA.
Time for us to bring you up to date with the trial that is ongoing, the trial of the alleged pirates. They were recently arrested by the Nigerian Navy. It might interest you to know that they are being tried under the anti-piracy law. This anti-piracy law was recently signed into law by the President of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari. Just in case you do not know much about this, let's bring you up to speed to this development.
On the 15th of May 2020, a Chinese vessel named MV Hailufang II was attacked by pirates off the coast of Cote d'Ivoire. The pirates took control of the vessel and directed the vessel towards the Nigerian waters. The Nigerian Navy was alerted of the pirate attack, and immediately the Nigerian Navy ship Unguru was dispatched to intercept the vessel. On interception of the vessel at about 140 nautical miles south of Lagos Ferry Buoy, the pirates refused to comply with the orders of the Nigerian Navy ship. Hence, the Nigerian Navy ship had to conduct an opposed boarding of the vessel. All the ship crew were safely rescued, while 10 pirates were arrested.
That was the commander, NNS Beechcroft, Commodore Ibrahim Shatima, announcing the arrest of alleged pirates operating on Nigerian waters. They were then handed over for prosecution. Being the focal agency for the implementation of the anti-piracy law in Nigeria, the management of NIMASA, as an interested party, followed up with a process to ensure that offenders are brought to book. After a series of meetings with the Chief of Naval Staff, the Inspector General of Police, and the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, the Director General of NIMASA announced that the pirates arrested by the Nigerian Navy will be prosecuted by the Federal Government of Nigeria under the SPOMO Act.
We, the NIMASA, will pursue this case to the logical conclusions with the use of the Anti-Piracy Act that we have now, and then we will now set a good example.
And true to his words, the alleged pirates, 10 in number, have been arraigned for hijacking a fishing vessel named FV Hailufang II, belonging to Haina Fishing Company. The defendants are Frank Abaka, Jude Baraga, Shino Alolo, Joshua Iwiki, David Akinshe, Ahmed Toyin Shobajo, Sahid Adekole, Philip Matthew Massey, and Bright Agbede.
Yes, those are the suspects undergoing trial under the anti-piracy law. It might interest you to know that this particular case is enjoying some accelerated hearing, and it might also be of interest to note that the judge, Honorable Justice Ayokunle Faji, actually went to inspect the vessel himself with a counsel to both government and the accused. This is simply a testament to the fact that the federal government is highly interested in the security of Nigerian waters. The bail application was declined and the case was adjourned for further hearing. Labaran Magaji is the lead prosecuting counsel.
It is not our practice to try matters on the pages of newspaper or on the screen of television. But at the end of the day, the truth will prevail. Years of my experience in criminal trial has always shown me that on rare cases you have issues of tendering extrajudicial statement without having it been opposed. So this is not one of the, this is not new, it is normal, and so the delay is to the detriment of those opposing the tendering of such a very important and relevant document to the case. This refusal of bail actually will serve as deterrent to any intending pirates and it's a success story that needs to be told to the world.
Security is topmost on the agenda, as well as safety. And keeping our waters safe is a very, very big deal. Recently, we've had too many boat mishaps on our inland waters, and it makes one very sad. The DG NIMASA also feels that way. You'll notice that in one of his recent tweets, which reads, "The recent Apapa boat mishap is one too many. My condolences to families, loved ones of those who died. We need a joint safety standard and enforcement regime for our waters. No more delays. I have begun reaching out to state and non-state actors for actualizing this. May the souls of those who passed on rest in peace, and please be safe when you go out there on the waters."
Introducing the new face of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA. We are charting the direction for a maritime and regulating the industry for a better, bigger, and more economically stable Nigeria. Evolved to serve you better. We are NIMASA. New face, rejuvenated service. NIMASA, changing the tides in your favor.
Officers of the Long Course and Navigation of the Nigerian Navy paid a visit to the headquarters of NIMASA recently. You know that NIMASA and the Nigerian Navy are enjoying some very fantastic collaborations right now. And so this meeting had a lot to offer, and the officers had a lot to learn during the session.
The session, which took place in compliance with protocols guiding against the spread of COVID-19, had students of the Long Course Navigation and Direction of the Nigerian Navy Ship Corps, led by the Commanding Officer, Navigation and Direction School Corps, Commander M.T. Suleiman. He had the full complement of instructors from the school. NIMASA directors were on hand to give briefs on the agency's activities. First to deliver a presentation about the agency's functions was the Director, Administration and Human Resources, Mrs. Ronke Thomas.
Our mission is to achieve and sustain safe, secure shipping, cleaner oceans, and enhance maritime capacity in line with global best practices towards Nigeria's economic development. The agency has the core mandate of promoting and regulating shipping in the country. Associated with this mandate is the responsibility of ensuring safety and security of the Nigerian maritime domain for ease of maritime transportation, which is one of the critical catalysts for economic development.
After her brief, it was the turn of Captain Sunday Umorin, Head, Marine Safety and Seafarer Standards, to deliver a presentation on the implementation of NIMASA Maritime Safety Mandate.
Maritime industry is a significant industry for any coastal state. Once you have water, it's very natural for you to have some maritime activities. UNCLOS highlights the responsibility of both coastal state, flag state, and all the other aspects of shipping. And it covers international and local trade. Yes, IMO sits there, makes regulation for, setting up this common platform, a common platform for all to observe. But then you realize what they said is actually what we call minimum standard. Any country can build up on the minimum standard. But because you build up on the minimum standard, if I'm coming from my country that has complied with IMO standard to your own country, you can't impose your laws on me, so long as I've met the minimum standard.
NIMASA MGC Commander, Commodore Aniete Ibo, and the agency's Assistant Director Legal Services, Barrister Agbaminoja Peter, also made presentations.
Any vessel coming in to do cabotage in the waters must be, like I said, built in Nigeria, owned by a Nigerian, crewed by a Nigerian, then be in the Nigerian flag. So this must be met. Otherwise, some vessels do come as foreign vessels to the cabotage regime, but they apply for waivers. They apply for waivers, and those waivers are, when you talk about crewing, for like those top, maybe the chief engineer, those kind of persons that we don't have readily in Nigeria. Those are the ones that waivers are allowed for. But for the seamen, the lower ranks, there are no waivers for them.
The broad norm, which is the bedrock of shipping in Nigeria, is the Maritime Shipping Act of 2007.
is described as the mother of all maritime laws, as it speaks about everything you can imagine, from training to become a seafarer, to the running of ships, to the end of life situation of ships when you need to scrap them. After you scrap them, if ships are abandoned and you need to dispose of them as wrecks, the Merchant Shipping Act tells you exactly what to do in every aspect of shipping.
After listening to the presentations, the team leader of the naval officers, Commander M.T. Suleiman, also had some words to say.
The purpose of this visit is for the school to consolidate on the knowledge gained by the students in the classroom with the activities of various maritime sector agencies which are collaborating with the Navy. And NIMASA, being the agency that is mandated with the certification of seafarers, found it worthy for us to pay visit.
Knowing that NIMASA is a regulatory body, professional maritime body, which has a lot to do with training and a lot also to do with operations, has made it mandatory for our visit here today. So in every way, NIMASA meant a lot to professionalization of our officers. And that is the essence of our visit here today.
The management of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, has directed all duly registered stevedoring companies with operational areas allotted by the Nigerian Ports Authority (NPA), which are yet to start operation, to mobilize to their work locations. The directive, contained in a marine notice issued by NIMASA, said the affected companies should report any encumbrances to the agency. This is in line with the stevedoring regulation of 2014, gazetted by the Federal Government of Nigeria, developed pursuant to the NIMASA Act of 2007. The agency equally notified all operators of ports, jetties, onshore or offshore oil and gas or bonded terminals, inland container depots (ICDS), offshore dock terminals, dry ports and platforms, and other work locations to grant duly appointed stevedoring companies access to their premises for commencement of operations. It said only corporate bodies duly registered in Nigeria would be allowed to employ dock labor or engage in stevedoring work on board or from ships. Such corporate entities must have satisfied the requirements of registration specified in the stevedoring regulation of 2014 and obtained a stevedoring license from NIMASA. Director General of NIMASA, Dr. Bashir Jamo, said every dock labor employer or stevedoring company shall provide proper and safe working conditions for the convenience and proper working of its employees and ensure that all stevedoring plants and equipment supplied and being used in their operations are safe and in good condition. Dr. Jamo also warned that the consequences for non-compliance with the guidelines set out in the stevedoring regulation of 2014 shall be enforced, in addition to other penalties such as detention of vessels, sealing of operational area or work location, and prosecution.
That's that for our program for today. We'll be back next week. Until then, do remember, as the economy is opening up more, remember to observe all the safety protocols you need to observe to stay safe from COVID-19. You could follow NIMASA on all her social media platforms to understand more. They're all at NIMASA Official, and you could visit the website too. You could also follow the DG NIMASA on social media. His Twitter handle is Jamo Bashir. Follow to get first-hand information about the sector too. My name is Cordelia Ogbe. Take care and bye-bye.